Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we are diving deep into the world of rocket, or arugula, whatever you want to call it. It's fast, it's got that amazing peppery kick, and it's just so rewarding to grow yourself. So if you're looking for an easy win for some fresh homegrown greens, you are definitely in the right place.
I mean, seriously, what if I told you that you could have fresh, homegrown salad greens on your plate in, like, less than a month? It sounds kind of crazy, right? But with Rocket, you absolutely can. It's hands down one of the fastest, easiest greens you can possibly grow. So let's just get right into it.
Okay, so first things first, let's really get to know this plant. I mean, what is Rocket and what gives it that signature peppery punch we all love?
So rocket, or arugula as you'll hear it called, is this awesome leafy green that originally comes from the Mediterranean. And that peppery flavor, that's no accident. It's actually part of the brassica family. Yep, that means it's cousins with things like cabbage, broccoli, and mustard greens. And that family connection is exactly where it gets that distinctive spicy kick.
Now, you should know not all rocket is created equal. You're generally going to find two main types out there. First, you've got salad rocket. That's an annual, it has softer leaves, creamy white flowers. Then there's wild rocket. That one's a perennial, it has yellow flowers, and whoa, a much more intense, spicier flavor.
And it's not just about the taste. Rocket is a total nutritional powerhouse. Seriously, it is packed with vitamins A, C, and K. K is amazing for bone health, by the way. And you've got minerals in there like potassium and calcium. The best part, since you usually eat it raw, you get all of those good-for-you benefits without cooking any of them away.
Okay, and of course, we got to do our quick but important disclaimer here. While we absolutely love talking about all the amazing benefits of growing your own food, just remember that everything we're covering here is for educational purposes. If you need any specific health or dietary advice, please always talk to a medical professional, all right?
All right, now for the really fun part, getting our hands dirty. Let's walk through step by step how to get those rocket seeds going. And it doesn't matter if you have a huge garden bed or just a little pot on your balcony. This'll work for you.
You know, one of the absolute best things about rocket is how long you can grow it for. You can basically sow seeds from spring all the way through autumn. Think April to September. And here's the pro tip. If you want a non-stop supply, you got to do what's called succession planting. All that means is you sow a new little batch every 2 or 3 weeks. Easy.
And sowing these seeds is just so simple. First, get your soil ready. Rake it out so it's nice and fine. Then you're going to make a really shallow little trench, or drill. We're talking no more than a centimeter deep. And here's a key tip. Water that little trench before you put the seeds in. It just helps them stay in place. Then all you do is sprinkle the seeds thinly right down the line.
Okay, now listen up because this is probably the most crucial part. Unlike a lot of other seeds, you barely want to cover rocket seeds. In fact, they actually need light to germinate. So just gently press them into the soil you just watered, or maybe sprinkle the absolute thinnest layer of compost over them. Seriously, burying them too deep is the #1 mistake people make, so keep them shallow.
All right, your seeds are in the ground. Awesome. Now let's talk about how to take care of them. Keeping your rocket plants happy is pretty straightforward, but there are a few key things you'll want to watch out for.
Really, success with rocket boils down to 3 main things. Number 1, consistent watering. If the soil dries out, the plant gets stressed and it bolts. That's when it tries to flower way too early. Number 2, give it some shade in the peak of summer. That also helps stop it from bolting. And number 3, here's a great little trick. Try sowing your rocket after the longest day of the year. As the days start getting shorter, the plant is just naturally less likely to bolt. Cool, right?
Okay, so picture this. You go out to your garden, all excited to check on your plants, and you see your rocket leaves are covered in tiny little holes. Sound familiar? This is probably the single most common problem people have. So, what is going on here?
Well, the culprit is a little pest called the flea beetle. And the good news is the solution is super simple. Now, the holes don't actually affect the taste, but yeah, they don't look great. The absolute best defense is just a physical barrier. All you have to do is cover your rocket crop with some horticultural fleece right from the day you sow. If the beetles can't get to the leaves, they can't make holes. Problem solved.
Okay, so you've planted the seeds, you've taken care of your plants, and now it's time for the payoff. The best part of this whole thing, the harvest.
And get this, we're talking 4 to 6 weeks, that's it. In as little as a month from putting that tiny seed in the ground, you'll be ready to pick fresh leaves. I mean, that turnaround is just incredible, and it's why rocket is such a satisfying plant to grow, especially if you're just starting out.
Now, to get the absolute most out of your crop, you're going to want to use what's called the cut and come again method. It's exactly what it sounds like. Don't just pull up the whole plant. Instead, just snip off the bigger outer leaves from each one. If you do that, the center of the plant will just keep pushing out new growth. You can get a continuous harvest for weeks and weeks from the very same plants. Okay, let's be real. Rocket is definitely best when it's super fresh. But hey, if you have a bumper crop, you can totally store it. For a few days, just pop it in a sealed container in the fridge. But here's an even better trick. Put the washed leaves in a container of cold water in the fridge. They'll stay crisp and fresh for up to 10 days like that. And if you need to store it even longer, you can blanch the leaves really quick, 1 minute in boiling water, then straight into ice water, and then you can freeze them.
And please, whatever you do, don't just think salad. That peppery flavor is so incredibly versatile. You can toss it on a pizza right when it comes out of the oven. You can wilt it into a pasta dish at the last second, blend it up into a zesty pesto, or even just braise it with some olive oil and garlic. It makes an amazing side dish.
You see, growing rocket is just perfect proof that you do not need a ton of time or a huge amount of space to grow your own amazing fresh food. It's such a great first step into the world of gardening. So really, the only question left is, now that you've got this success under your belt, what are you going to grow next?